let me get my notes out.
Oh, you're good.
I got some questions to ask Mr. Cole. So, our next speaker this evening is Cole Crocker. So, Cole is a unicorn. You know, he was born and raised here in Nashville. And he's another one of these young guys that I think knows everybody in town, Nashville. If I need an introduction to anybody, I just call him. I think he knows everybody here.
I do that for a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. So, and Cole and I met, I don't know, how long has it been, 6, 7, 8 months ago or something like that?
No,
Has it been a year?
it's well
been
over
a
a
year?
year, maybe
Oh.
2, honestly.
Oh, that's what happens. Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh,
Glad you know you appreciate our friendship.
it's
Yeah.
called old. No, it's
Yeah,
called Old Timers. That's it. See, I forgot how long it's been, but yeah, we met at a networking event and immediately, hit it off. We went and had coffee, and we were kind of like, okay, this guy likes to hunt and fish, and I know that's the surprise for many that don't know I like to do the same stuff because they usually see me dressed like this and not out, hunting and fishing like we see Cole all the time. But anyway, so we just kind of hit it off. We're small town guys, even though Nashville's not small, but Bellevue is.
Yeah, Bellevue, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so anyway, we just really hit it off and have become good friends, over the last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
reminded me of
Now
that.
we host a happy hour together.
That's right. And
So
we
yeah,
have,
August 24th, by the way, just to
yeah.
plug that.
Yeah. At Bold Patriot, and it's called what?
What did we call it? The Accelerator, right?
Yeah, yeah, the Accelerator. So it's powered by Strategic Financial Partners and Excel. So yeah, we do that at Bold Patriot, and I know several of you have come, and it's a great time to network, and it seems like a lot of people there are very intentional, about, and a lot of times Cole and I spend our time walking around introducing people that want to meet certain kind of people there, so, and we usually have 60 plus people there, so you're all welcome to come out on the 24th. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But, but that was a nice plug. Thanks, Cole.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then if anybody follows Cole on social media, you saw that he was just up in Chicago.
Yeah, he told us.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Playing a little hockey.
Oh yeah.
So tell us about that passion, real quick.
Yeah, started skating when I was 2. Grew up here, obviously. Not much hockey being played, but I don't know. Played at a high level growing up, I guess, and then now I coach a youth travel team on the side, and we went up to Chicago for a men's league hockey tournament. Also went to a country music festival and saw Willie Nelson, who is impressively 89 years old, still up there ripping it. So it was pretty cool to see him in a concert, but yeah, that was fun.
Surprised you still have all your teeth. What's the deal?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hockey, what
just
happened?
lucked out, I guess.
Yeah. So, but Cole works for Strategic Financial Partners. So I remember that a year ago when I asked him what he did, and he was like, "Well, I'm a financial planner." But this is after he told me everything they did, and I was like, "No, that's the wrong answer. You got to tell people what you really everything you guys do." So I'm gonna let you tell everybody
So
what you guys actually do.
We
How
help
you work for
we help business owners and entrepreneurs build and grow a legacy through a multitude of wealth strategies. We're not one-dimensional. We don't just focus on investments, or we don't just focus on insurance. Our goal is to tackle everything within your financial life and to help you get to where you want to go, depending on what that is, right? If you have all your assets in real estate, we're not going to sit there and try to beg you to put it in the stock market, right? You know the real estate market. You know that you can go generate strong returns there on a tax-favored basis, and it's a predictable market for the most part, right? We don't want to take away from that. So the way that we work with real estate investors is really how can we complement what they're doing and add value to that situation. So tonight I just wanted to share a strategy with you guys that I thought, well, I know some of you guys here are already utilizing, but a strategy that helps complement what you're doing in the real estate market. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard of the infinite banking concept, being your own bank. The whole idea is when you borrow money, why pay the bank interest when you could borrow it from yourself and pay yourself interest, right? Banks are worth billions of dollars. You look at Chase, you look at Bank of America, they're some of the strongest institutions in our country, right? Their whole business model is loaning out money, making money off of interest. Why can't we do that for ourselves? So that's what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. Also, I knew I'd be getting cookies, so that was the big selling point. But so when we work with clients, we really work in two different ways. The first one being transactional. That's, hey, I need a piece of insurance, or hey, I have this problem going on in my financial life. I just want to talk about it singularly, right? The flip side of that is we work with clients on a fee-based financial planning relationship, and so they pay us a flat fee. We give unbiased advice around their situation. A lot are business owners, some are investors in alternative assets. They have a more complex situation going on. The way that we view that relationship is you hop in your car in the morning, you want to get to a destination, right? Never been there, but you want to go. What's the first thing you do? You put the address in the GPS. Well, along that route, you're going to run into traffic or roadblocks, right? Our goal is to be that GPS within your financial life, right? 08's going to happen again at some point. Hopefully it's not soon, but God knows. 2020, this year, obviously, if you're invested heavily in the stock market, that was a big pitfall for a lot of people. So as pitfalls happen in your financial life, our goal is to really see how we can work around those and get back on the path to our destination in the most efficient way possible. So that's really how we work with clients, I would say. But yeah.
Yeah. So I know, and I think one of the times Derek was here several months ago, you had a book, right?
Yeah. I didn't bring it with me, but
Yeah.
I know someone that did bring the book.
I did bring it with me. I forgot to bring it up
All
here,
right.
but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Solid book if you're
Yeah.
looking for
Yeah.
any. So it's called Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. He actually reminded me to bring it last night. He was like, hey, I knew you were speaking. Should I bring that book for you? I was like, well, good idea. I got it myself, actually.
So let's talk more in depth on
Becoming your own banker?
Becoming your own bank.
Okay. So
because I think people have heard that phrase. but
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that don't fully understand it, like me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know a few of you guys are using it already, which is awesome, and it's cool to see from my standpoint because it is such a great strategy that so many different people benefit from. But the idea is being our own bank, as I just mentioned. We want to borrow money from ourselves, become our own financial institution, and when we go borrow money from ourselves, we pay the interest back to ourselves rather than the bank. Why not make ourselves more money instead of paying the bank, right? So we do it through a cash value whole life insurance policy. The way that is structured is, I guess the best way to walk through this is through a client that we're currently working with, or is now a client, I guess. He's worth about $5 million. Almost all of his assets are in real estate, right? We don't want to touch that. We know that's his bread and butter. We know we can grow wealth there and get pretty healthy returns. That's great. But he has a lot of cash on the sidelines right now because he's looking for another deal, roughly $500,000, right? We don't know how long it's going to be until he finds that next deal, or at the time did. Like I said, he's a client now. So we said, well, what if we get a piece of that cash to work for us at a conservative rate? Because right now it's sitting in a checking account and not really earning us anything. It's just dead money, right? Working backwards, especially if you look at the CPI numbers released yesterday with inflation. But so what we did was we peeled off $120,000. We said, let's get this to work for us for the next 10 years. We're going to pay $120,000 into it every single year for 10 years, $1.2 million, right? We made sure that makes sense from a cash flow perspective. That's obviously not all of his money going into it, but it's a decent amount. And so when it goes into this cash value life insurance policy, year one, a lot of it goes to the cost of insurance. It is insurance, right? People paint this pretty picture that, hey, you can become your own bank in year 1 and 2. It doesn't work like that, right? I'd rather be blunt about it than paint a pretty picture. We show you what it looks like, and you say, okay, well, I didn't know that's how it actually worked, right? So the first couple years, a lot of the cost goes towards insurance, but there's also a cash value bucket within that. So within that cash value bucket, the cash value goes towards the insurance company that you are currently working with, right? The insurance company's job is to generate returns for you. So there's two different types of insurance companies that you can do this with. First being publicly traded, right? The leadership of that company, the way that they look at it is, okay, my job is to generate revenues and profits for my shareholders. I want to grow the value of the company, pay my shareholders dividends. The flip side of it is a mutually owned insurance company. The policyholders have shares of ownership within that company, right? So the leadership with the mutually owned companies, their goal is to grow revenues and profits for the policy owners, right? And then we're going to generate interest, pay dividends back into that cash value. So there's a big difference. We want to make sure that when we're using this strategy, you're using a mutually held company. I don't care if you work with us, but if you're going to do it right, in my opinion, right? So say we're going through a mutually held company, right? The cash value goes into the insurance company's general account. The insurance company, they heavily invest in corporate bonds because it's a conservative asset. They know what they're getting. They also lend out money and make money off interest. Shocker, a big institution make money off of lending out money, right?
Yeah.
So they also invest in real estate and alternative assets as well. So as they generate profits, they pay those profits into the cash value of the policy, which then grows the cash value as well as the death benefit within that life insurance policy, right? So as it's growing, they're as close to a risk-free asset as you can build. They're growing at 2 to 5%. Nothing sexy, nothing like commercial real estate, as you guys know. He was talking about a 20% IRR. I mean, you're not even going to touch that with this, right? But that's not the purpose of it. It's to eventually build a bucket of assets or build capital that we can access on down the line, that now we can take it and we can continue to build that real estate bucket, right? It's not to go and beat it with returns. It's to say, hey, I'm strapped for cash. Where do I go access capital? Well, I've built up my own bank. I can go do that now, right?